Hello and welcome back to another episode. An interesting story. A story of a youngster who has come to Pakistan. He belonged to Pakistan. And he is someone who started his journey from KGS in Karachi. Went to Canada at age 9. And then at a very young age, at the age of 24, he is currently a working journalist for TRT World, a producer, and also does bylines for global news. He has covered disasters around the globe. He has done coverage in Turkey, Bangladesh, and multiple other countries. We over here have Mikail Malik. Hi, Mikail.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. So, first of all, when you moved to Canada at a mere age of 9,
Yeah.
did you plan on doing journalism and just journalism?
No, actually, like many Pakistanis, I wanted to be a cricketer.
Oh, lovely. Who
So-
did you idolize?
It was a mix of Shahid Afridi, Yunus Khan, and Shoaib Malik. But my
Lovely.
brother loved Shoaib Malik, so I would
Yeah.
tease him about Shoaib Malik
Yeah.
here and there. But obviously, I became more interested in journalism as I grew up and went to school and started studying. I was involved in Model United Nations
Yeah.
in high school. So I was always, circling political kind of events.
You studied your bachelor's in political science too.
Yes.
So you did double majors.
So I didn't do a double major, but
Okay.
I did a major in political science and a double minor in,
Double minor,
in
I'm
Middle
sorry.
East and South Asian studies.
Okay, so there was always an inclination towards
Yes.
journalism.
There was, and a lot of my travels inspired me to become a journalist. I lived in Beirut for a couple months, working for an NGO there, and I found myself naturally writing and talking to people and documenting their stories. And I returned to Canada and started working for a local news station called Global News,
That's
and was lucky enough to be part of an investigative team, really doing deep dives into the child welfare system there. And after that, I always had my eyes geared to international media, so I applied literally everywhere, and luckily was able to find a job at TRT World.
Climate and environmental series rewarded you, made sure that you are an award-winning journalist. What was that about, if you can tell a little about that?
So I'm not an award-winning journalist. Our program is an award-winning program.
But you were in that program.
I
so
was in that
automatically
program.
makes you
Yeah,
someone
but
who's
honestly,
involved.
I also think that the whole conversation about awards and journalism
Yeah.
is like another thing that we
Yeah.
can have an entire episode about.
Yeah.
But sorry, what was your question?
The whole series, the climate and environmental
Yeah.
series, what was it about?
So basically, we're the only environmental program on the earth right now that exclusively focuses on climate change, 26 minutes,
Okay.
twice a week on TRT World. And it basically explores the way anthropogenic greenhouse gases, things
Yeah.
like fossil fuels, are impacting our lives, from everything from our food systems to the way we live our lives, energy, and all the way down to frontline communities that are bearing the brunt of floods, drought, wildfires.
So I've seen some of your stories. You've written very articulate analysis. What prompts you at such a young age to pursue a passion which isn't that rewarding in the sense of monetary? Yes, you get the appreciation from people and whatnot, but in specific, what is the one thing which intrigued you?
I think the aspect of journalism that always attracted me was being around people. I love talking to people, I love learning from people, and I love putting myself in positions that are outside of my comfort zone. And I found that journalism was the best way for me to express that wish. And I've been fortunate enough to travel for my work and meet some of the most amazing people that are experiencing some of the most difficult circumstances due to the climate crisis. But obviously, it's a really, actually, I think, rewarding industry, not monetarily,
Yeah.
but in terms of your
The
ability.
social relations
Exactly.
that you build. Yeah,
Exactly.
I completely agree with you. So coming to this point that you have done majority of your work or a bigger chunk of your work on climate.
Yes.
In Pakistan, we have seen that, out of 10 households, 3 to 4 households will have one climate activist.
Really?
A climate activist which is only on social media, who loves talking about climate and whatnot. So what is this sudden rise of climate activists in your opinion? What do you think?
So the way I see it is that, okay, so when the 2022 floods happened, I think there was a lot of shock.
Yeah.
I think people were just like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
a third of my country is underwater, 35 million people are displaced,
Yeah.
unbelievable. But then when the most recent floods happened, I think people are more outraged now
Yeah.
at why isn't there action? But I think people have now come to understand that this is an existential threat to Pakistan. and that there needs to be a better way forward. And it's because it's everyone's lived experience.
Yeah.
Whether it's in Lahore with air pollution, Karachi with urban flooding, up north with the flash floods, everyone in this country knows the climate crisis firsthand.
Yeah, unfortunately, our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif recently said that Pakistan cannot do anything about climate change and we need funds. So,
Yeah.
probably the gimmick that I'm trying to understand over here is every other individual who is trying to become a climate activist is there for funds. Like Rafe was also talking in one of the sessions too. Coming back to journalism, do you see yourself as an accomplished journalist or pursuing the same field in the coming 5 years?
I think I'm a journalist for life.
For life.
It's the most fun job ever, and it's a complicated job, and I think there's so many ethical issues with it as well.
Yeah.
And I want to try and tread a path in journalism that's very different than others. I really think that there needs to be more of an accountability to the people whose stories we tell, and ultimately, whether I'm an accomplished journalist or not, I think that speaks to the crux of the problem that with journalism is that ultimately it's not about us. It's not about
It's about the people.
It's about the people
Yeah.
whose stories we're telling.
Yeah. So coming to this, that your visit to Pakistan, how have you found Pakistan? How have you found Lahore? And after how long have you come to the country?
So I was born in Karachi and
Yeah.
I moved to Canada when I was 9. I've only been to Lahore once before this, and
Oh.
it was only for 7 hours.
Okay.
So I literally flew in, landed, and went to all the historic sites, and then went back to Karachi.
That's it.
But being around this time and spending the days here and actually seeing the culture and the country in a different light has been really inspiring. And Lahore is such a magical city, and
Yeah.
it really has drawn me in a way that no other city in Pakistan has. The people, the vibes, it's just been absolutely amazing being back.
One story that really excited you and really put you, that you put all of your heart into it, and which became a focal point of your journalism career. What story was that?
We were recently in Bangladesh and we visited a village that was suffering from lead contamination. And it was an extremely challenging experience for me because of the ethical issues at hand and how exactly to investigate this in the best way. But it also showed me how rewarding it can be because the lead plant that existed there has since been shut down, not because of my reporting, but because of the campaigning that these civil society organizations have done. But it showed me how the way journalism and civil society can work together to reduce harm. And it was a very challenging experience because it was a language I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was in a country I'd never been to. But it was also such an important issue because it was about the green transition, because these lead acid batteries are being used as a replacement for diesel. And it showed the dangers of kind of creating new harms while trying to transition to a greener economy.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice. So coming to the last part of this, has your family and your parents always been supportive of it? And what is their reaction about you pursuing journalism?
My family, my mother, my father, my brother, and my aunts, my uncles, everyone has been, my grandmothers, have been extremely supportive of everything I've ever tried to.
So they are sending
explore.
those links in the WhatsApp groups. and
Yeah, yeah.
whatnot?
In fact, I just sent them some links.
Okay. That's what I do too. So
yeah, of
yeah,
course.
guilty.
Having a supportive family is so special, and I'm so grateful to have been able to have one in this industry. And I absolutely think I'll be continuously exploring journalism wherever it takes me. I'm happy as long as there's a camera in my hand and someone to tell their story.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mikail, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Lastly, one thing which I would want to say is that a person, a journalist, and specifically journalism community in Pakistan, they tend to be jealous of each other. They tend to have envy about each other. But meeting Mikail for the first time, he welcomed and he opened up and he talked rather than not just sharing experiences only, but just lending out words of support. So gotta give it to Mikail and kudos to you, and wishing you all the luck for your future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's really been an honor talking to you.